All right, Alexis, thank you very much. Navigating the career landscape has always been a bit tricky, but in recent years, there have been some major changes that we all need to pay attention to. Shannon Oleen, keynote speaker and inspirational coach, is here to talk more about things that have changed and what that means for everyone, most importantly, at every age. Shannon, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, Rob, thanks so much for having me back. You know, as we started to think about this topic in 2016, it's really important for folks to understand that the traditional model, the hierarchical model that we've been used to for so many years, you know, it's really not as applicable anymore. So I think that there are some universal principles that we can kind of just say out of the gate. Doesn't matter where you're at in your career, but there are some important things that we all need to be reminded of.
Yeah, kind of at any age too. We were just talking before we came on camera here, and I think there are certain things that you might do in your 20s professionally, 30s and 40s, but then there are things that you need to be aware of throughout your professional career. But let's start off right off the bat here. You graduate from college, you get out of school, whatever, not feeling entitled professionally.
Yeah.
You have to earn something. No one just deserves something because they think whatever about themselves.
Yeah, we've seen this epidemic over the last 5 to 10 years of millennials getting a lot of bad press because people think that they're so entitled and that they just deserve to be the CEOs right out of the gate. And you know, unfortunately, we're still seeing that in 2016. So my advice for 20-year-olds and millennials starting out in your career, you've got to get over it. You've got to humble yourself and just realize that you've got to start at the bottom.
And people in their 20s, you've got to do the work. There's no excuse for the work. And you know what? You get knocked down a ton professionally.
Yeah.
You need that to get where you want to go.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not just you get everything handed to you and then you're, you know, the star of the show or the CEO or the manager or something like that. There's a lot of work that goes behind that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
All right,
you know,
so now we're 30.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're advancing your career and you've moved into your 30s, you know, it's important to really kind of start settling in and saying, okay, you know, am I in the place that I want to be right now? Because you certainly don't want to derail yourself and just pigeonhole yourself into one particular area if you don't see yourself in doing that for the rest of your life. Another thing that's really important is that you've got to join industry associations. You know, anything that can professionally help you in your development, getting to know other people in the career market, the other people that do what you do. You know, there are a lot of Facebook groups that can kind of pull people together, associations, etc. So it's really important that you've got to join some of those industry groups.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So kind of like make connections and network and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that you can do is that you've got to be really up and up on your social profile. So your online profile, making sure that you've got your LinkedIn page pulled together, making sure that the rest of the world really understands what your career goals are just as much as you do.
So we're moving our way through our 30s and all of a sudden, boom, the big 4-0 comes.
Oh, yeah.
Key learning years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in your 40s, I always tell people that you have to make sure that you are continuing to educate yourself because as we're seeing today, everything is so fast-paced, and so you've got to remember that you've got to stay up on education, you've got to stay up on the latest technology trends, you've got to see what are teenagers and 20-something-year-olds doing today and how can you apply those same skills and principles to your career.
It's so challenging too because, I mean, I'm not quite at 40 yet, but my little nephews and nieces, they know so many things that I don't quite know. They're up on things. It's like you kind of got to make technology work for you and make sure you put in the time to know just what's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, professionally and personally, things will kind of just pass you by. You'll get left in the dust, I guess.
Absolutely, you know, and I feel like there are certainly individuals that when they hit their career in their 40s, they start to have that aha moment, oh my gosh, am I really set to be able to fulfill the rest of my career in the way that I want to? And if not, there's still tactics and tools that you can use to try to help yourself continue to pull it together.
Shannon, just about 15 seconds left. You talked about things that are always important to remember professionally. What are some of those?
Absolutely. You know, networking at any age is so incredibly important. You know, it's with globalization and with technology, being able to pull employees and even contractors and freelancers, you know, it's so important that we continue to network and build that network to help our own careers.
Yeah, Shannon, thank you so much. Some great stuff there. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Rob.
Alexis.